Test, test, test. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Let me know how we sounding. Let me know how we sounding. Yesterday it was a great trading day. We're going to break that down a little bit. We do got some news events today. We do have GDP news at 7 a.m., the 8:30 USD news. We're going to break this stuff down in a couple minutes. We're going to let some more people hop up in here. So I'm liking GU right here. I'm looking for a retest though before we take this setup. But if y'all was in the live yesterday, not only did GU do what we was looking for yesterday, we ended up taking this position in the live stream yesterday, but it also ended up retracing like we talked about as well. Now, it didn't retrace back down to 35.80, but it did end up retracing back down to 36.10. So if we can hold 36.10 as support, we can look for buys going back up to 36.40. And then possibly back up to the highs here at 36.85. Now this thing spiked going into FOMC, as you can see, 1400, then 230 was the other FOMC news event. So this thing literally flew up during the news, right? So again, we took this trade during London session, rode it going into New York, and then when FOMC popped off, it helped us break through all of our TPs, right? So I keep on telling y'all, if you didn't watch my How to Trade News playlist or How to Trade News video, I keep on telling y'all the news is not scary, and the news 8 times out of 10 is always going to go with the flow of price, right? We was clearly in the uptrend, right? You can see clearly resistance levels getting turned into support, resistance levels getting turned into support, resistance levels getting turned into support, right? So when the news popped off, it's not a shock or surprise that it spiked to the upside. Just like when price failed to hold its level at support here, it's not a shock or surprise that the 230 news brought price right back to our initial entry. We also had JPY news last night. VJ did push back up, so it's kind of repeating the move we went for on Monday and Tuesday. So with GJ, we're going to be looking to see if we can break above and hold 265 as support. If we can hold 265 as support, we're going to be looking for buys going to 201.10. Or if it retraces and maintains 220 as support, we can look for the same buy setup we caught on Monday and Tuesday. We still have plenty of wiggle room for a nice move to be made on GJ. Only thing is again, we do have 7 a.m. GBP news and 8:30 USD news. Going to be going live with the members and students during 8:30 USD news. So members and students, make sure to be on the lookout for that link. And then I would have caught this gold setup, but as you can see, it literally pushed up a little. I mean, I could have jumped into it, but it was a little too far from my entry I wanted, so I just left it alone. But this is the same move we went for on Monday as well, right? And we was talking about the retracement. So if y'all was in the live yesterday, remember, we was looking for buys at 36.60, 36.62. Price did the move we was looking for yesterday. We also took 2 trades in the live stream yesterday. We took a NAS trade. Once my Wi-Fi turns back on. There we go. We took a NAS trade. Excuse me. SL got hit, but then as you can see, literally when market reopened, it did the move we was looking for, which is hilarious, but it is what it is. Also, US30 flew yesterday when NAS100 retraced, but as you can see, it ended up doing the same move, literally retested off this level like we was looking for during London session, right? So this is what it is. It happens. We get caught in retracement reversals, the part of the game. But gold when that's projected, and then GU when that's projected as well. So we caught a nice 1-4 RR on GU. You can see like gold setup we talked about, it did a nice 1-3 RR setup. And then we have gold literally repeating the move we went for on Monday and Monday's live stream. All right, so with gold, if we can break back above and hold 36.62 as support, we can look for the same setup we went for yesterday, which is going for buys up to 36.84. So we're looking for a retest on GU right here. And they were watching GJ. Like always, you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we're looking at your charts, drop them in the chat. But you already know the drill. We're just chilling, patiently waiting. Got a new 5-minute about to pop up in a little bit. Yeah, I like this setup right here. That's a nice push off GU. I was looking for a retest. As you can see, price pushed up. So we're still going to wait for a retest. We didn't get a retest in the 5 minute either. But the game plan is still the same. This is the same setup we went for on Monday. Again, if y'all was on the live yesterday, we entered this GU setup. GU ended up going exactly as projected. We also was able to ride the wave from FOMC pushing up to the upside. So this is what I was talking about yesterday. You hear people all the time online talk about, oh, don't trade No News Monday. We made a bag off of No News Monday. We made a bag off of No News Monday, right? We made a bag off of No News Monday. Then everybody's like, oh, it's FOMC. Don't trade FOMC. We made a bag prior to FOMC. Then we made a bag thanks to FOMC, right? So this is what you just got to do. Like my bio says everywhere, you just got to keep it simple. If your setups are there, your confirmations are there, go for it. The only thing I would not advise is trying to do what you see online where people be putting like buy or sell limits above, waiting for price to wick them in and out. All right. So make sure to watch the video I drop. Matter of fact, I'm going to drop it in the chat right now. Just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday, by the way. Make sure to check it out after the live if you have not already. All right, so make sure to watch the video. All right, but this literally shows you, again, we was clearly in the uptrend, was clearly had bullish momentum prior to the news. So it's a shocker surprise that price pushed to the upside when FOMC popped out. And why? Because again, we was in an uptrend. Right? That's why you just gotta keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't. That's why I say just worry about what price is doing. Right? Don't when you start thinking about all these patterns or all this other shit, that's gonna be overcomplicated. Right? If we're in an uptrend, only go for buys. But what about this? What about that? Does not matter. Right? As long as we're in an uptrend, go for buys. Just like we're in a downtrend. Block out all the noise. When you're downtrend, only go for sells, right? Because again, losses are a part of the game. Just like we was talking about yesterday. If y'all seen yesterday's live, NAS100 hit our stop loss, but then last night it did the exact move we was looking for, right? We literally see a retest and did the exact move we was looking for. But if y'all was in the live stream also, we literally canceled out and made our bread back on the GU setup, right? So again, we pull out the calculator. Whoops. Okay. Whoops, wrong screen. Calculator. All right, we pull out the handy dandy calculator. I said calculator and people left alive. I don't know why people don't like math. But anyways, all right, so again, using simple numbers, we took an L on NAS, but then we caught a 1 to 4 RR on GU. All right. So we lost 100, made 400. Right. So again, this is why risk reward is so important. So we're about to see if G is going to retest this level for us. Again, if we can maintain 3610 as support, we can look for buys going back up to 3660. You ended up retracing like we was talking about yesterday as well. Again, it went back up to the highs we was at last time, as you can see. Then it retraced. But again, as long as we can maintain 3580 as support, we're still bullish. We're still looking for buys. I was going to take this gold setup, but as you can see, it took off right at 3 a.m. and it pushed up. I was looking for kind of a retest on 3 a.m., but it pushed off on 3 a.m. It's doing the exact move we went for on Monday, right? So at this point, we're going to be going for the same setup that went as projected yesterday as well, because we all in the live stream yesterday. It was talking about gold buys, went right to 3662, and then look at how price reacted, right? So you would have had little drawdown on this setup right here. So again, when people talk about, oh, don't trade this day, don't trade that day, fuck all that. If your setup's there, take the setup, right? It's that simple. When you overcomplicate stuff, that you start overthinking and start doing dumb shit. But simple is best. Simplicity is key, especially when it comes to this day trading stuff. We got JPY news last night. We do have news today as well. We have 7 a.m. GBP news and 8:30 USD news, and then later on tonight, probably around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, we got JPY news popping off. When we're going live with the members students during the GBP, not the GBP news, during the USD news today. So members students, make sure to be on the lookout for that link. And then retest, which is fine. Don't stick to my rules still. And we had a good. We're up this week. We're up for the month. So again, there's no reason to chase the setup, right? Especially when you're up for the week, up for the month. There's no reason to make silly or dumb mistakes to hurt your profits, and then you're trying to make up for your profits, right? That's what a lot of people do. For Monday and Tuesday, they do dumb shit, and then they remember all the rules in place last week or the mistakes they made last week, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they're trying to play catch up, right? And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you have great days, but because you started off the week making bad mistakes, instead of being up for the week, you'll break even or playing catch up. You know what I'm saying? That's a nice push right there. G's pushing nicely as well. And yeah, I didn't take this setup because I didn't get the retest I was looking for, which is completely fine. So we're just gonna look for the same setup we went for yesterday, which was if we can hold 36.35 support, we can look for buys going to 36.80. Again, make sure to hit that first link in the description, join the free signal for your Telegram. You can see the signal right here in the screenshot. Entry SL TPs. You can see again the final TP right here was 36.80, which was right here. And again, FOMC, it took FOMC news to hit our final TP and blow through it. So if you would have got closed out at the final TP, you would have caught almost a 1 to 3. But if you roll the FOMC where you could have caught as high as a 1 to 5. I personally got wicked out right here at a 1 to 3. I mean, what was it? It was like a 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 2. It's in the screenshot in here. I don't remember. They always trying to let me put emojis. So I closed that wick right there. All right, cool. But yeah, so we're going to look and see how price is going to react to. Right, as long as we maintain and respect this level right here at 36.75, 36.80, we're still bullish. That's a strong push right there. Gold's probably pumping as well. Yep. So again, this is another example of, even though it's a news day, right? There's news at 8:37 a.m. There's still setups, right? So again, this is what I talk about in this video right here. Right, you trade around the news. You either trade before news or after, right? Just because there's a news event that's going to affect the markets or cause volatility for 15 to an hour, 15 minutes to an hour, does not mean you don't trade the entire day just because of that one news event. You get what I'm saying? If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When you look at any charts, drop them in the chat. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, y'all. Y'all see it scrolling at the bottom of y'all screens. Instagram, playmaker_wait, TikTok, _playmaker_wait_. Let's see what we got going on here. What's going on, Rich? Are the lines pivot point or support resistance, higher levels? There's technical support resistance, but they're not like, I call them key price levels because I treat the key price levels like support resistance, but they're not pivot lines. So like when you watch my live streams on TikTok or like, you know, in the video I dropped yesterday, when I pull out the price action technical analysis playbook. Matter of fact, I can just pull it out right now. Pull it out. And I do, because my DMs have been getting flooded. Shout out to those that's been DMing me. And I do have another sale starting today, actually. I was going to post it going into New York session, but those in the live stream, I can post it in here as well. Shout out to those that's in the live. But when I go over the playbook, or if you have your copy of the playbook, the reason why I purposely make the levels red, well, they're not even levels, but the reason why I make them red in the playbook versus on my chart, the blue and gold, is because in the playbook, I'm strictly showing you where highs and lows end at, right? But what you have to understand, I'm going to give y'all some free game right now, is there's support resistance levels everywhere. Like price literally, when price goes up and then stops or retraces, it's because it hit a support resistance level. If price goes down, it stops or retraces because it hits support resistance level, right? So it's not just support resistance levels, because if I was just marking off strictly support resistance levels, I'd have lines all over the place. It would look like those grid papers you used to have in math class and shit like that. The reason why I call them key price levels are because they're literally that. They're key price levels based on the market structure and the type of setups I'm looking for and going for, where if I enter and exit that, I'm going to be able to catch the move for the day, right? It's not a coincidence that this is where London session started and then the news and New York session ended here, right? Just like with GJ. It's not a coincidence that on Monday's live stream, we entered here and then price kept on rejecting here, right? But then when price retraced back down, it came back down to this level, right? Then it rejected again. Then when it came back down, it halted right back at this level, and then again rejected again here, right? And then we see even here how price is playing on these levels, right? So they are based on a bigger time frame, but it's not simply just support resistance levels, and it's not simply just pivot points, right? So that's why I go over all that stuff in one-on-one sessions and Playmaker University, because it's a little bit more complicated. And anyone that's done one-on-one sessions with me or has Playmaker University access, they know, right? Because I do it all the time. Like I'll show them, because in the one-on-one sessions we're on Zoom and I'm on my screen, showing my screen, and I'll show them step by step how to do it. Or you have the playbook and Playmaker University, I'll show you how to do it. And then I'm like, okay, your homework is next week when our next session, I want to see what your levels look like, because we cannot move forward until you show me you can mark the levels off right? Because if you don't mark your levels off right, everything else I'm about to break down and teach you from that point is going to be off, because you don't got the levels down right. And literally like 7 times out of 10, that next week comes and their levels are not right? So it takes a little bit of practice and repetition to do it right. Like nowadays, I can do this shit in 30 seconds if I'm just marking off one level. But marking off like all these levels, it'll probably take me like a minute. But back in the day, that shit might have took me like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. I would have really been trying to figure this shit out, right? Like again, this is why I like to tell everybody to go in the first link in the description, because if you look at my levels now compared to when I first started the playbook in the Telegram, right? We go back into 2022. Again, we've been averaging high 80, high 90% win rate since literally 2022. But if we go to photos and we take a trip down memory lane, and we go again, you see the dates, we go all the way to 2022. You can see the difference in what I used to do versus what I do now. So obviously, it's got to love it, because this is 3 years down the line. So once this loads, you'll see what I'm talking about. Actually, let me see if I can do it, right? Like this does not look anything near what I got going on now. Like I got a level here, level here, level here, level here, level here. Like they're all uneven, they're all the same color. Versus now you can see my levels are very even and more precise, right? And that's why, again, it's not a coincidence that price pushed from here to here and then rejected, right? And the same thing here, price push from here, turn this level to support, then the next push of volume halted right here, right? And then this level, as you can see, went for resistance support, and then guess we're halted right here, right? And then halted right here, right? Then this resistance low got turned to support, and halted right here, right? Even right now. All right, so there's a system and method to the madness, but it's not just simply pivot points or stuff off the higher time frame. Missed a couple setups, but it is what it is. Again, it's Thursday, and I'm not tripping too much about missing setups, because we made a bag yesterday. We're up for the week, up for the month. So because I'm in profit, I'm able to stay a lot more cool, calm, and collected, and not FOMO into setups and be a lot more patient, because again, In trading, mistakes cost you. It's not, oh, okay, I got to go back to my checkpoint like a video game, or oh, okay, I just got to restart. No, like the mistakes will cost you literally. And like I say all the time, these mistakes, this is what causes people to crash out and give up on trading. It's not, sometimes it's because, it might be too hard for people, but most of the time it's because they end up spending or losing too much bread due to not understanding or rushing the process. And the main thing I noticed, and it was an issue for me as well, was just repeatedly making the same mistakes over and over again. Right? Like when people talk about trading psychology, they don't really go into depth, but that's because most people online just repeat shit that went viral for other people that actually don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But the trading psychology isn't just, oh, you got to be positive. No, it's building good habits, replacing bad habits. It's discipline. So G just broke this level. So we're going to be looking for the same setup we went for literally yesterday. If we could hold this level as support, we would have went for this setup, but didn't do the retest I was looking for. Also didn't retest on the 5 minutes. So I decided not to take the setup. This would have been one of those scenarios where a retest would have, without a retest would have worked out in my favor. But again, your rules are your rules for a reason. If you break your rules one time, you're going to break them all the time. If you don't stick to your rules, there's no point in having your rules, right? So we're going to be looking for a retest here. GJ is also doing a nice push. Just did a nice move last night. So GJ, we're going to be looking for price to break above and hold 265 support. If you go 265 support, we're going to be looking for buys going to 201.10. Right, and then gold, if we can break above and hold 36.62 as support, we can look for the same exact buy setup we broke down and took yesterday. So we was 2 for 3 on 2 out of 3 on the charts yesterday. Gold when that's projected, GU when that's projected, obviously, and then NAS we took a L on, but then last night NAS retested back this level and then did the move we was looking for. So again, we wasn't wrong to go for buys on NAS yesterday. It was just simply we got caught in a retracement reversal, which we can't control. So we got to see what this next 5 minute looks like. Again, y'all, if you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we look at these charts, drop them in the chat. And make sure to hit that first link in the description, join the free signal, free Telegram. No problem. Oh, but like I said, as promised, I'm gonna drop the sale in here. I'm gonna put the announcement in the free Telegram, probably the beginning of New York session, to be honest. But let me go ahead and drop it in the chat. So I got 2 different discount codes, right? One for everything else, like the advanced play signal 101 sessions, and I got another one specifically will only work on. So you can try it if you want, but it will literally only work on Playmaker University. All right, so I'm gonna drop those in the chat right now. Let me pull it up on my other screen. Let me put you up and see what hold you. Okay, we're looking for buys. That's what we're looking for right here. Appreciate those that like the live. Make sure to subscribe as well. We're almost at 3,900 subscribers. We can get to that easily. Just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday. Make sure to check that out after the live is over as well. Make sure to explore the playlist. All playlists are up to date. All right, so pay attention to the chat, y'all. I gotta find the discount code for everything else. That's simply for Playmakers University. Um, Again, this is why we wait for break and retest, because just because price breaks a level doesn't mean it's going to hold that level. Might still try to close there. GJ is looking nice as well. Now the only thing is we have news at 7 a.m. We have 7 a.m. GBP news and the 8:30 USD news. So that's the only thing, right? So on my personal accounts, that's not really too much of an issue, but my prop firms, that is kind of an issue, because with prop firm accounts, depending on which prop firm company you use, some of them let you hold trades into news, but sometimes it's like if you don't have the trade and you're not in the position for at least, like, I think it's like 4 to 6 hours, if you get wicked out during the news, even if you get wicked out on profit, sometimes they will act like that trade never happened, right? You have to wait. You have to close, at least for mine, because I don't do none of the express shit. The express shit's even more strict. I don't do none of that express stuff. I do the 2 steps because it's cheaper. You get bigger percentages on the payouts, and then there's a lot less rules and restrictions you have to follow and abide, right? So, hey, that's just pros on pros on pros, right? But there is still the rule with news events where you have to either close, I think it's 10 minutes before the news, and you close 10 minutes before the news, those profits will be saved. But if you close 5 minutes or during the news, those profits will not be saved, right? They'll act like the trade, they'll cancel the trade out. And then you also can't put a trade in until 10 minutes after the news, right? Now, with personal accounts, that don't really matter. I could just move out selling profit and ride the news out and get wicked out, or close while I'm in profit, or get wicked out in profit. But with my profits, I gotta be a little bit more strict. And yeah, so there's that. There's that to account. But I still like these setups nonetheless. But let me find this discount code for the one-on-one sessions and advanced placement. Let me find that real quick. Here it is. I'm pretty sure it's this. I gotta delete some of these discount codes too. I think this is the one. Yeah. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of people asking. I've been making. I mean, it's been. Everybody else has been talking about summer PA has been bad, but I told y'all summer is my favorite quarter to trade. And again, it has been some choppiness, but you also cannot say or pretend like there hasn't been nice moves. You know what I'm saying? All right, and then use this discount code for APSR's advanced play signal, and then one-on-one sessions, right? And again, if you don't understand what comes with all that stuff, I talk about it at the end of all of my videos, or you can DM me directly. I usually don't really like to talk about it, live streams and stuff like that, unless people ask, because people hop into my live and that's the first thing they hear, then they're going to think that that's all we do over here. But as y'all know, no, we actually trade over here as well. Again, if y'all was in yesterday's live stream, gold ended up going as projected. NAS hit stop loss, but then last night did the move we was looking for. And then, of course, GU went as projected. If y'all was in Tuesday's live stream, GU went as projected as well. Did the move we was looking for. The GJ also went as projected in Tuesday's live stream. If y'all was in Monday's live stream, GJ went into this GJ setup, as well as this gold, not gold. This is gold, as well as this gold setup during Monday's live. And like always, don't believe me, just go to the live, go to the YouTube, the live, then go to Monday the 15th live stream. Go 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in. I forgot what time I started that live. Let me see what time I started. So I can give you your exact time, right? Because I know I don't expect, because it was a Monday live stream, different with yesterday's live stream. I don't expect y'all to sift through the entire hour. So we went live. No, that's the wrong day. This was the 17th. 15. Y'all can tell I'm tired. Okay. Yes, Monday the 15th. I'm tripping. I was like, that doesn't sound like Monday's date. Right. So we went live 3:05. So yeah, go like 20, 25 minutes into the live stream. And then excuse me, we'll see. I couldn't mute in time. My apologies to the earphone users, but you'll see us about 25 minutes in, break it down to Interim Gold, as well as GJ and Monday's live stream. All right, so GJ and G are kind of doing the same thing right now. GJ ended up rejecting this level though. So again, this is why I don't breakout trade, because imagine if we would have entered a buy here. It would have worked out here, but more times than not, breakout trading does not work, right? Break and retest is the way to go. So if we would have took this trade, we've been unnecessary drawdown right now and have potential loss of loss. I mean, have potential risk of taking an unnecessary loss, right? Versus if we just patiently wait for a retest confirmation, more times than not, we'll have a lot less drawdown. Like we see, obviously, there's going to be drawdown from where you enter, because that's just how spread and trading works. But y'all get what I mean. Y'all get what I mean. So we're going to see if we can hold that level. Goals kind of do the same thing as GU. So we're looking to see if we can break back above and hold these levels as support. If you guys got any questions, drop in the chat. We're looking at your charge, drop in the chat. Just dropped a video for y'all yesterday. Make sure to check that out after the live stream is over. Also, make sure to explore the playlist. All playlists are up to date. Let me drop that video in the chat again. Let me see here. Appreciate those. I like the live. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna post that for everybody else in the Telegram channel later on today. Yeah, as far as today's concerned, I'm mainly going to think there's the GU and GJ, possibly gold. Mainly going to think there's the GU and GJ. That decent entries, well, not GU, but GJ. We'll hold as low as support. This is not a bad entry right here. Not against this entry. GJ just broke this level. Now, I do like this. I just don't like the double news events, but I do like this setup. All right, this is what we was looking for price earlier this week to break and hold, which we clearly see price fail to do so Monday and Tuesday. And by the way, what I want y'all to do after this live is over is hit that first link in the description and watch the Sunday chart analysis. Right? Yes, it is Thursday, but like I always tell y'all, the Sunday chart analysis goes over not just what we see price doing Sunday night going into Monday, but it goes over what we see price doing throughout the entire week. And if you watch the Sunday chart analysis right now, every single chart is doing exactly what we was talking about. This was before markets opened. You see, we posted this at 11:15. This was before markets opened. This was before news events, all that good stuff, right? And my analysis and projections were simply and strictly based off of market structure and what I teach behind the scenes with the playmakers, right? So watch this video. It's literally just 4 minutes long. I want you to pay attention to what I'm talking about with the charts and the pairs, the price points, and then I want you to go look at the charts, see what price is done market structure wise, look at the price points that got hit, and then you'll see that again. It's called the pivot trade. GJ rejected that level. G gold is retracing as well. Got a new 5 minute about to pop up in a little bit. I like this GJ setup right here. I ain't gonna lie. GBPUSD long. Yep, we've been long all month. We've been catching buys on GU all month. We caught a nice buy setup, a few buy setups last week, and a couple of weeks ago it was a little bit choppy because price was consistently struggling to hold these levels, right? But we talked about that last week. That's why again, a lot of people was getting frustrated or upset the past couple of weeks because, again, future indices side, we had all-time highs getting hit. But then with GU, again, we could see this was August. We caught this, broke this wave up, and the price rejected and reversed. Then we had, again, price reject this level, price reject this level, right? And then this goes also back to, I don't know if you're still in here, Rich, but this is why you can clearly see that my levels aren't based on pivots, right? That's why I say it's a little bit more complicated. It's simple once you understand it, but it's not just pivots, right? We can see how price constantly kept on rejecting my levels, and even last week on the beginning of the month, price kept on rejecting these levels, super low volume, but then this price finally broke through that level, right? So this is why market structure is important, because instead of just saying, oh, price action is bad, or getting frustrated because price is choppy, people get wicked out, when you understand why price is doing what it's doing and the market structure and the rules of price, one, you can be a lot more cool, calm, collected, but you're also going to be able to understand what's happening. Like I always tell people, whether you like, love, or hate it, you got to accept it, because at the end of the day, nobody's forcing us to day trade and invest. So it makes literally no sense, logically and for your mental, to understand what price is doing. Understand you can't control price, but still get mad at price or still try to do what the fuck you want to do. It makes zero sense, right? That's why you always be chilling, cool, calm, and collected. Even in yesterday's live, right? NAS100 was in drawdown. Did it sound like I was upset or freaking out? No. It sounded like I didn't give a fuck, right? And sometimes that throws people off, but you have to be at that point, because again, every trade I take, I don't just think about how much I can make from the trade. I think about both the pros and the cons. I know every single trade I take, how much I'm risking, which is I risk the same amount every single trade. But every trade I take, I know how much I'm going to be potentially making as well. And I also know all the scenarios that can play out. Again, watch yesterday's live stream, both GU and NAS. Not only did I say where I want to see price go, but I also said if it fails to hold these levels of support, it's most likely going to do X, Y, and Z, right? And GU and NAS not only went as projected, but ended up doing X, Y, and Z. Remember with NAS100 yesterday? I was like, if we can't hold that level, it looks kind of wonky now, but that's a nasty ass wick NAS did. That's disgusting. That just threw me off. I can't even. Just watch the live stream yesterday because that wick, I can't even explain what price. It was a red. It's a little bit complicated, right? That wick's disgusting. Let's go to G. I just watched the live stream yesterday because the market structure will make a lot of sense. But GU, same thing, right? We caught that wave, but then after FOMC, the 230 FOMC price retraced back down, right? So again, we rode that wave up London session, going into New York session, and then the 2 o'clock, the first FOMC news event. Exploded and helped us hit the final TP and broke this level. But then the 230 FOMC news failed to hold us low as support and reversed and price all the way back to where we started the day at. And then when we go to G right now, we're literally right back where we was at almost around the same exact time yesterday. Right? And then look at GJ go. GJ just the volume's pumping, y'all. The volume's pumping. So again, ignore all the shit you hear online. Where people be talking about news. It's very, 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 very simple. You trade before news, you trade after news. It's that simple. And then, of course, if you don't see a setup, you don't take a setup. It's literally that simple. You don't got to overcomplicate it. How many people do you think were upset or about to cope on the internet, if not already? Because I saw some videos already last night with people coping on the internet. I'm not trading FOMC yesterday. Well, let me not say not trade FOMC. Trade because now I'm getting fucked up, right? Because they try to act like that news event defines the entire day. In all actuality, more times than not, it only defines 15 minutes to an hour, right? So obviously, again, you don't want to enter buy or sell right as the news event's popping off. Again, you want to trade before and after, right? You want to trade before and after. That's a nice push, though. So we're gonna look for a retest. It'd be nice in a perfect world. GJ doesn't troll us and do a big ass move before the news, because again, we got news at 7 a.m. for GBP and at 8:30 USD news. But we got volume already pumping in, so it's gonna be interesting to see what New York session does. So today's gonna be a little bit different. If I don't see any, well, obviously we have some action. Right, I missed my entry on gold. This was actually a bit of a retest, but the volume kicked in right at 3 a.m. So I got to get up a little bit earlier to prep the streaming, because it's different if I wasn't streaming. If I wasn't streaming, all I had to do was just open up my laptop and my phone. But streaming, I'm going to have to get up a little bit earlier to set up all the streaming stuff, set up all the tabs and all that good stuff. But this one would have been a nice setup to catch. I missed that one. GU didn't retest, so we didn't take this setup. And then obviously you can see this played out last night. I haven't been trading Tokyo session lately because I've been making hella money during London and New York session. So I haven't really been trading Tokyo session. But like I always say as well, it doesn't matter what session it is. Every session has their slow periods. Every session has their slow days, slow months. But if the markets are open, your setup's there, take the setup. All right, but this, again, just volume, right? We see our price halted here, and then this candlestick price just blew through it. So we're going to be looking for the retest. If price doesn't retest, we're just going to let it do its thing, because, again, we don't chase price. And more times than not, price does retrace. NAS just did a crazy, nasty move as well. US30 and NAS made new all-time highs again, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not going to trade those today. Yeah, I'm not gonna trade those today. Yeah, so today I'm mainly gonna be paying attention to GJ, GU, and gold. That's the main thing I'm gonna be paying attention to. Am I holding for BOE rates? It depends. Every trade situation, right? Every trade situational. Every trade situation. Like yesterday's trade, I held going into FOMC because I was in profit. My SL was in profit, and then we see what happened when news played out, right? But I am terrible with time. What day was this? What day was this? No, it wasn't this one. It was this one. But Thursday last week, I closed before the news, right? But we also see two completely different reactions during those news events. So it's literally a situation. Again, I talk about it in the video I dropped last week. Right, I'm one of the few channels where you guys need to watch every single video I drop. Now, obviously, if you're not investing in stocks or crypto, those are optional. But trading wise, y'all need to watch every single video I drop because I say it all the time. It's just like in the Telegram channels. Every time somebody joins, I always say, okay, make sure to explore the channel. You need to watch every video I post. You need to read every post I post. Make sure I have your notice on, right? Because whether that's in the free Telegram, the Advanced Play Student Playmaker University, YouTube, I'm never making videos or posts because I'm bored. If we're fixing everything I do is to set y'all up for success, right? So if you have not watched my How to Trade News video that I dropped last week or 2 weeks ago, make sure to watch that video. In that video, I also answer that question you asked. All right. And the members and students watch the recordings of the lives, the past news event lives. All right. Over the Playmaker Universe is over 800 videos of all the past lives, the past 1 sessions. All right. So you got literally a year plus of high impact news events to look at for reference this study. All right. And there's a lot more, if I'm not mistaken, in the Advanced Play Student Room. Well, I made a new one, so it's actually not in the new channel. But if you combine the old channel and the new channel, there's a lot more videos in there as well. All right, so all the lives are like 15 plus minutes. Those are New York lives during the high impact news. So make sure to watch those recordings, especially the one from the past couple of weeks, because we actually had some interesting reactions during those news events, and we had some good questions asked as well. So yeah, so GU was just pushing, which is fine. Like I said, we're just gonna let it do its thing. If you would have met me 4 years ago, I would have been trying to find a new setup. I would have probably been doing some dumb shit like this, just to FOMO. But again, I'm up for the week, and I know price is going to retrace, so I'm not really tripping too much. I'm at the point in my trading career where I literally am strictly solely focused on A plus setups and trades that meet my rules. But yeah, so again, where a lot of people are asleep right now, you see moves taking place, right? Because again, we have news at 7 a.m. and 8:30. So while everybody's asleep, these moves are playing out. Then when everybody wakes up for New York session, oh, I'm waking up for New York session. And they're gonna see these big ass moves play out, and they're either gonna FOMO in on the news events and get faked out, or they're gonna miss half the move, right? Because again, look at GU. Imagine if we only traded New York session with GU. We would have missed a quarter of this move, right? We would have missed literally a quarter of this move. We look at gold. This one played out right before New York session, but again, same thing. Imagine if we waited for New York session. We would have missed the ideal entry point. Or even worse, 9:30, we would have missed the entire gold move. Right? This is 9:30. Then you would have went for a buy here, got wicked out, or you would have got fucked up on the FOMC news event, right? And then that's when people go on, oh my God, price action, this, that, and third. But again, if there's 3 or 4 sessions, again, it's just simple math and logic. If there's 3 or 4 sessions, depending on who you ask, right? Tokyo, London, New York. Sometimes people say Australian session as well. If there's 3 sessions and you're only trading 1, you're literally giving yourself a 1 out of 3 chance or a 1 out of 4 chance of you finding a setup, right? Because again, there's slow days and slow periods during Tokyo session. There's slow days and slow periods during London session. There's slow days and slow periods during New York session, right? Not every session there's going to be a move. 1 to 2 of those sessions is going to be consolidation or retracements. There's usually is 1 session where there's volume pumping, right? So again, if you're literally only trading 1 session, more times than not, especially if there was volume prior to New York, which more times than not there is, you're going to miss a half, if not the entire move, right? Same thing here. This one actually would have worked out in your favor because it retraced multiple times, right? 8 a.m., 8:30. But again, if you would have waited for 9:30, you would have missed this. You would have missed half the move, right? And if you backtest, you'll notice this a lot of times how that plays out, right? GJ is another example, right? Imagine you try to look for a buy setup 8 a.m. You would have missed that setup, but it did retrace back at 10 a.m. And then you could have caught the same move. You would have missed London session, right? But then we see here, this move happened during Tokyo on London session, 8 a.m. You would have missed the move, 9:30. Price reversed, right? So that's a nasty push on GJ, but it is what it is. GU is still kind of chilling right here, which is not a surprise either, because right now they're kind of trying to entice people. Because again, like I said, we got 2 back-to-back news events. I really don't like having back-to-back news events, especially when they're not all USD news events, because sometimes we see volatility during both news events, or sometimes we don't. But I still have to stick to my rules. So sometimes if we don't see that volume from the GBP news, it's only the USD news. I could miss out on good entries, but again, there's always going to be another good entry. Those kind of doing the same thing. It's kind of just chilling right here. So yeah, we're going to just let the charts do its thing. I'm going to make sure I'm not missing anything in the chats. All right, cool. All right, shout out to everybody in the live, y'all. Shout out to everybody who's been live since the beginning. Shout out to everybody who's been live since y'all joined. Again, make sure you hit that first in the description in the free super for Telegram. I'm going to be posting these in the free super for Telegram later, but make sure you use these discount codes, y'all. Don't ask me how long these codes are going to be lasting. Just take advantage of them. So I don't get what's wrong with some of y'all. Obviously, not all of y'all. But it's always a thing. Like when I do sales, as soon as the sale's over, then everybody wants to hit me up and ask me about the sale or if it's still active. Take advantage of the sales while the sales are active. Right? You don't walk into the store in the mall, you see a sale on some shoes or a video game or whatever the fuck y'all be doing. And you don't go to them and be like, is this sale going to be still active next week or is it going to be active tomorrow? No, you buy that shit right there, right? But anyways, y'all, like always, you want to contact me directly, you can do it on Instagram, Telegram, or TikTok. I respond to messages. Members, again, we're going to be going live. I'm going to let y'all know a little bit as well. We're going to be going live with 8:30 News today. Like always, it's going to be a little bit different today, though. We do have 7 a.m. GBP news. I'm mainly paying attention to the GBP pairs today. So if I don't see any action between now and 5 a.m., I'm going to wait for the 7 a.m. 8:30 news play out. And then let's do at 9 a.m., 9 a.m., 9:30. We've got in store for us.